Thank you all for joining us today as we do our BHHS Connect KV Core Platform Essentials Overview. Just wanted to let you know in this class, we're essentially going to show you what the dashboard looks like. We're going to kind of give you an overview of the various features and systems and things like that, but we're not going to take that really super big deep dive into every little nuance that is available in BHHS Connect. This is really just to get you started and to give you an introduction and overview. And we're going to show you where there are a lot of resources in the system so that you can go ahead and start your journey in BHHS Connect. There are a few housekeeping items that I want to make sure that I cover as far as where BHHS Connect fits into our overall strategy and company and how it fits into the BHHS platform as well before we get started, just to kind of understand the relationship that it has with BHHS and a lot of our other tools. All right. So you will hear us talk about BHHS Connect. BHHS Connect is the kind of name brand of KV Core for BHHS. So BHHS, or Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, obviously, the HSF, Home Services of America, has contracted with KV Core to provide a version of KV Core for every single agent in the BHHS platform. So this is the global network. Everybody has access to this. Everybody has an account. So in between BHHS and the whole KV Core relationship, KV Core decided to change their name. They are also now known as Bold Trail. So unfortunately, you will see lots of different marketing materials coming out, and it may have one of these three names on it. BHHS Connect is the branded version of KV Core for BHHS agents. It is not the ginormous version of KV Core with every single bell and whistle that you can possibly get from Inside Real Estate, which is the parent company for KV Core. We affectionately refer to it as KV Core Lite. So just so you know that there are some things that are different in the KV Core platform as a whole versus what is in BHHS Connect, but essentially the core, for lack of a better term, of KV Core is available to you for BHHS Connect. I will show you some differences and also show you some kind of nuances in the system where some of the information is actually being fed in from BHHS instead of actually inputted directly into KV Core. And as I said, in all of this, we are right in the middle of a name change for KV Core, who has now rebranded themselves as Bold Trail. So you may see some marketing materials come out. There should be a series of emails coming out from the system and things like that going forward. You'll also see some information coming out from BHHS itself. And you may hear the system referred to as BHHS Connect, or KV Core or Bold Trail, as everybody kind of gets their marketing materials updated. So just know they are all one and the same. BHHS Connect is just the branded version of KV Core / Bold Trail for BHHS agents. Just to kind of try to clear up some of that, that terminology for this morning. I also wanted you to know that this is not replacing anything that we currently have. However, it all talks to each other. So this is kind of a weird graphic, but I wanted to be able to see what has been done here. On the right-hand side, you're going to see things that you're familiar with from BHHS Resource Center. So those are going to be things like the Sage CRM Marketing Resource, BHHS Connect fits in here as well. And on the left, you're going to see rwtconnect.com, which of course is our local intranet. So the left side, again, RWT Connect, our local intranet that is actually owned and managed by the company. Our vendor behind that is, of course, Reliance Network. You've seen emails come out from them before. RWT Connect will continue to house things like our websites that are available. It's also going to be your SSO or single sign-on connection to all of your tools. So it's still going to have your Paradigm and your Buyside, your .loop, ExpressDocs, all of those quick link buttons that are available on rwtconnect.com. None of that is going away. The CRM, the emails, all of the listing management and things like that, and how it ties into not only our corporate website, but your agent website, all of that continues to be housed on rwtconnect.com. However, All of this actually talks to each other. And this is one of the reasons why we waited to launch BHHS Connect, or that KB Core platform, was to make sure that you had a seamless experience between all of the different tools. As you know, we have lots of tools that are provided from our local company, so provided by RW Town itself. And then we also have tools on the regional, national, and global level as well that are provided through BHHS Resource Center. So what is happening right now is there are two-way streets, and that's all represented by the arrows on this screen right now. I want you to know that your contacts that are currently in rwtconnect.com are synced up to Sage CRM. Sage CRM is, of course, the product that BHHS launched with to be able to house all of the different contacts to be able to send off to their various tools. So think of it as the hub and those spokes of the various BHHS national products. So Sage CRM, you'll also hear Sage CRM sometimes referred to as Reflex, and some of the vendors up there referred to as Reflex partners. That means that that data is flexible, literally, Reflex partner. And it means that that data will go back and forth. So any contact that is currently in rwtconnect.com was recently synced up to Sage CRM or Reflex. That Sage CRM also talks to things like Marketing Resource, where you can send out your e-cards and things like that. It also talks to BHHS Connect. Now, I did say this was a two-way street. Any changes that you make in something like BHHS Connect will filter back down to Sage CRM, which will filter back down to RWT Connect. Conversely, any changes that you make in things like Marketing Resource will also do the same. So we want to make sure that all of your contacts are synced across all of our different platforms. Why is this important? Because we know that as we introduce new vendors, new tools, new ideas, new products, new innovations, we need to make sure that your contacts are in one place. It was really essential for us that just in case we wanted to introduce a new, for example, local partner that was available through the company, that your contacts that were in other places would also be available for that tool to be able to be used. So that might mean if we turn on like a contact sync or a client sync with somebody to make direct marketing easier, for example, we wanted to make sure that those contacts were in RWT Connect so that we could connect to them locally. We also wanted to make sure that you could seamlessly go between the tools that you're really comfortable using. Some people are using Chalk Digital, for example, for their digital ads in a very big way. We know that in order for Chalk Digital to work correctly, that those contacts need to be in Sage. You may not use Sage CRM, but Sage CRM is that hub for that Reflex partner in Chalk that allows us to use things like the automated target marketing against your database. So we wanted to make sure that we had all of the contacts synced between various pieces. We also know that when we introduce new technology and new vendors and things like that, that you all love to try it. And some people will stick with it and some people will make the best of it. This is going to be their latest and greatest, newest thing that they're going to use forever. And some people are going to try it and realize that either they don't like it or they have something else that works better, or it's just not working for them, whatever it is. We wanted to make sure that anything that you experimented with or tried would also filter back to the tools that you were used to. So for those of you who are going to move on with BHHS Connect and that KB Core platform and make it your CRM, that all of your contacts will be there. And if you decide that it's not right for you, but you've made some changes or some updates and things like that, just know that those changes and updates will also be available in Sage CRM if that's what you were using, or in RWT Connect in our local intranet CRM as well. So we wanted to make sure that this was just as easy for you as anything else. So hopefully that explains where all the different contacts are going and how they talk to each other. Just remember, we have two-way streets for everything. I would like to preface this though, with there is a slight delay. It's not very long, but if you do make changes, just know that it can take a couple of minutes to make sure that it gets everywhere it needs to be. All right. And last but certainly not least, you will all have a brand new button available for you on Resource Center today. Remember, that is bhhsresource.com. You can get to that using the SSO or single sign-on from RWT Connect. And that new button, BHHS Connect, is live and active for you. You will be able to go into that KB Core platform and take a look and kind of maneuver around starting today. I'm going to go ahead and take us into RWT Connect and also BHHS Resource, because there's a couple of housekeeping items that we need to be able to do in order to use this effectively. So let me go ahead and take you into the systems. Give me just 1 second. And we'll go ahead and get started. So I have borrowed an agent's account for the day today. I happen to be logged in as Joe Terrell up in our Williamsburg office. So we'll be using him today as our example, and that way we can go ahead and take a look at what it looks like from an agent point of view versus one of my admin dashboards, which has far too many buttons. For those of you who are not familiar with logging in to BHHS Resource Center, if you go ahead and scroll on down on RWT Connect, you'll notice that we have a BHHS resource button right here. If you click that, you do not need a username or password to sign into your BHHS resource account. You can go directly into it and it will go ahead and take you into BHHS Resource Center. Some of you may be used to logging in at bhhsresource.com. That's totally fine. Just know that the user experience is the same. If you go in, that button should be live for you. Yep. And there we are with that button right there. This is a live version right here. So there is a matter of housekeeping that we need to discuss, and that is your KV Core profile and platform information. I'm going to take you into KV Core, but we're going to come right back here because I need you guys to see something first and foremost when you start doing your setups. When you first log into BHHS Connect, this is what your dashboard is going to look like. I know there's a lot of buttons. We're going to talk about all the little different sections today, but I want you to know that the very, very first time you log in, if this is going to be your first time, this button right down here in this left-hand corner will actually already be activated, and it's going to talk about adding your or completing your onboarding checklist. Just for the purposes of this class, I've gone ahead and started this on Joe's account, but I do want to let you know that this is going to pop up first and foremost. It's going to have a little introduction video. It's going to be about 1 minute and 30 seconds long or so, and it's just going to tell you that it's really important that you go through this onboarding checklist to make sure that you get everything correct and set up in your account. One of the things that you're going to find with BHHS Connect, it is very, very personalized. So the different campaigns that you can activate, how you interact with your clients and everything else are all going to be customizable. And we want to make sure that you go through that process to make sure that you set it up in the way that's going to work for you. So this is broken down into just little step-by-step onboarding checklists. I'm just going to go back to this one for complete your profile, just so that you can see what this looks like. You'll notice that this is a 50-second video right here that just takes you through a step-by-step guide on how you're going to need to complete your profile. One of the really cool things about this system is that once you close out this window that you're getting ready to complete your profile, so you're going to hit that next button, it's actually going to highlight on the screen where you need to go to be able to complete this. So their orientation is really agent oriented, and it's going to give you that step-by-step and kind of hand holding through the whole system so that you can turn things on, turn things off, know where things are as you go through. Anytime that you close this out and you need to come back to it, just know that it's going to be down there in that lower left-hand corner right there, and it's going to let you know how many steps you need to complete. Once this is completed, that little bubble will go away. However, anytime that there might be a new tool or the system notices that something might need to be completed or set up, or it has some tips and tricks for you, that little bubble will come back, and that way you can take a step-by-step guided tour through whatever the system feels like it needs you to complete or something that might be new. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and complete my profile. And this is where we're going to start today. But just remember, I'm going to bounce back to BHHS Resource, and I'm going to show you why in here just a second. So in order for me to complete my profile, and again, if you were going through this for the first time, this would highlight. You're going to go ahead and go up to your name, and it's going to say My Profile. Click here to access your user profile. So this is part of that onboarding process. It's in that little drop down right there if you weren't able to see that because of the shadow. And notice that it's taking us through this step by step. This is a really, really important piece to getting the system set up and being able to go through all of the different process for onboarding. So we're going to go ahead and just follow these little prompts here today. And it's going to allow me to go ahead and edit my profile. I want you to notice that it says add your photo here. Now, this photo is coming in automatically from BHHS resource. We've talked about this in previous classes, and I know that a lot of you have worked with our in-office trainers on setting up your profile. Anytime that you see information that's already been added to the system, anytime that you've already seen something that might be grayed out, it's because it's coming from the BHHS resource profile. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. Let's get through these little prompts here first. So that photo has already come in. It's going to ask us to verify that we have our agent MLS IDs. And then it's going to tell us that updating these gray boxes means that it's coming from Resource Center. So anything that's grayed out means that we can't do it. Same thing here. And then again, here, these are going to be grayed out boxes, but it's going to want us to do this. This is our first box that is not grayed out. This is going to be our About Me section. This is where you're going to want to go ahead and put your profile. And then it also has a little signature area in here as well. So you'll want to go ahead and put that. That'll go out on any emails that you send out from the system and things like that. And then when we're finished, we're going to go ahead and save our changes. I'm going to skip this for right now. There we go. And let me go back to that edit profile section so that you can take a look at this. All right, so what I've done is I've clicked edit profile again, and I do want you to notice all the little different sections that are grayed out here. And that means that it's coming from BHHS Resource Center. So all of these different links that are going to be important for things like your email signature and some of your texting and phone numbers and how people contact you and things like that are all going to be pulled in from Resource Center itself. Okay. The areas, again, that you'll be able to edit directly into the system are the About Me section. You can copy and paste directly from here if you need to. Notice that it does support some formatting. So if you wanted to make some things bold, or if you wanted to kind of put it in that resume format where you have a bulleted list, you can certainly do that. You can even add a picture if you'd like. And then in that signature section as well, you can go ahead and do that. For those of you who are using the signature button that's available on RWT Connect that connects directly to our tool on RWT Hub that allows you to copy and paste a signature, you can actually copy that and paste it in here. It does work as well. So if you want to get a nice quick signature, you can certainly do that by going back to RWT Connect and clicking the signature button in our quick links section and logging in. That will go ahead and give you that signature box that you can use here. But let's go take a look at these grayed out boxes first and foremost, because these are going to be really important for you to set up. And we have a lot of them here. So I'm just jumping back real quick to that Resource Center. Okay, so we're back on, again, BHHS Resource, which is that global intranet, back on the Resource Center. And again, I'm going to go ahead and click the name in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm going to go to My Profile. All right. So in your profile is where you can update all sorts of information that's available for using in various tools. Now, BHHS Connect is not the only tool that uses this information. A lot of this information also filters into things like marketing resource and stuff like that. So this is really important to make sure that you actually have up to date because we use it for different things. So just taking a look at the different pieces of the profile here, you can go ahead and see some of this information that's available, and you'll be able to see the sections that have been grayed out that are available in here. If you need to make any changes at all, you can go ahead and just click edit, and it'll go ahead and allow you to edit those different fields. If a field, for whatever reason, is grayed out in BHHS resource, it just means that it's available at the admin level only. So if you just send in a ticket to web support at rwtown.com, or if you talk to your office manager, they may be able to go ahead and change that information for you. So a couple of things that are only available to be edited in the Resource Center alone and not in BHHS Connect itself are things like your first name, your last name, your agent headshot, your work phone and your cell phone, your from email, your agent MLS IDs, your license number, and also your social media handles and things like that. So let me go ahead and scroll down here. And I want you to be able to see how you can edit that information. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the edit button. It's going to basically bring up the same screen, but it's going to have some choices that we can make in here. There we go. If for whatever reason you do not have a consumer phone in there, the consumer phone is what is actually shown online. Make sure that you go ahead and put your cell phone or whatever your preferred phone number in on there. That's what's actually going to fill into your direct line on BHHS Connect itself. Scrolling down, you'll want to make sure that you have your correct email. If you speak any additional languages, this is really important. Remember, I said that we use this for other things. Part of this is sent over to BHHS Connect, but this information also fills out on your BHHS profile in general, and people like relocation and things like that also use it. Your About Me section can be filled out in here. This does not translate over to BHHS Connect, but if you have something in your About Me here, go ahead and just copy it and paste it and bring it on over. If you have any additional memberships, military service, things like that, go ahead and fill all that out as well. And then as we continue to scroll down here, you'll notice that we have lead notification preferences. Go ahead and leave this as it is. Don't change any of this. It actually does affect how you might receive leads. We have our system set up to be open so that you obviously receive your own listing things and things like that. So we want to make sure to just leave this as is. But here's where we get down to our social media URLs. So you'll want to go ahead and pop all this information in here. It's going to want your full URL. So if you're using a Facebook business page, you're going to want that https://www.facebook.com/ in this case, something like Joe Terrell Realtor can go in here. Make sure that you're putting in anything else that you might have. So if you're using LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, or X, go ahead and put those links in here. All of this information, again, will be shipped over to BHHS Connect and fill out that profile that's available in there. The nice thing about this is this information is also pulled into stuff like Sochi. It's also pulled into things like Marketing Resource to help fill out your profile in there as well. So we use this information in a lot of different ways, but this is how you change that profile information in that KV Core platform. If you've made any changes at all, just go ahead and click Save here at the bottom, and it's going to go ahead and save that information. It should take just a second to automate here and update, and it will go ahead and start feeding over to BHHS Connect. Just remember, there is a small delay on that information going over. So if you don't see it immediately, but you do see it in your profile, do know that it is being shipped over there, but there might be a small delay on just syncing some of that data. So just as a reminder, if anything is grayed out, I'm back on BHHS Connect here. In your profile here on BHHS Connect, you're going to want to go ahead and change it in your user profile on Resource Center, which again is available underneath your name and photo under My Profile. And again, if you have not had a chance to fill that out already, you should, because we use it for other things as well. Don't forget, the name of the game here is interconnectivity. We want to make sure that everything is talking to each other, and we only have to do things in one or two places to make sure all the information is the same. All right, just wanted to cover that really quick piece of housekeeping just because it's really important, especially with setting up your different profiles and things like that. Once your profile is set, this is the information, again, that'll be used throughout the entire system. You'll also be able to set some preferences in here. And we're going to go into some of these actions in the future, but I do want you to see where your different preferences can be set. If you plan on using the app that goes with BHHS Connect, you will have to set a password. Normally, we would log into this with an SSO or single sign-on. You saw how I went from RWT Connect to BHHS Resource directly into BHHS Connect or KV Core. However, if you want to use the app, you'll have to be able to log in with your email address, which is what's assigned in here, with a password. So do know that that's the section to be able to save that. In addition to that, you also have some settings that are going to be available for you for things like tasking, which we're going to get into in just a minute. But knowing how you can set up your task creations and when you get notified for those is also available here in your profile. In your profile, you're also going to have some basic information in here. It's going to show you some of your various offices. It's going to show if you belong to any teams or not. And it's also going to show any appointment availability that you have, and you can certainly go ahead and change some of that. The nice thing about this is you also have a vacation schedule in here. If you're not available to take leads for whatever reason because you happen to be going out of town, you can literally turn off your lead notifications, or you can assign it to somebody else if you needed to on your appointment availability. The appointment availability is set to 24 hours a day by default, which is how it is in most systems that we have. But if you need to adjust that, you certainly can on here as well. And this will become probably more relative as we go through all the different systems that we have on here. All right. If any of this information happens to be wrong or corrected or needs corrected, again, just go ahead and email us over at web support at rwtown.com. We'll be happy to take care of it, or you can also talk to your management and staff in your office. They may be able to make some of these changes. Before we leave this area here, I just wanted you to notice that we do have that little blue bubble on the right-hand corner that's going to follow you around everywhere. The best people to help with anything when you get stuck are going to be the BHHS Connect team at BHHS. So this is that same help center that you're used to using with the customer success team over at BHHS. This is the global team for help. If you do get stuck anywhere or you're not sure how to do something, you're like, hey, we discussed this, or something is grayed out that you weren't expecting, you can also go ahead and contact them and let them know they also have the ability to make some changes into the system, and they can also help guide you through. If you're not fun on chat and things like that for using the customer success team, note that they do have some phone numbers here and also an email address right here as well. So you can email them directly, or you can give them a call if you prefer to talk to somebody on the phone. It's the same team. So that little blue bubble that follows you around on BHHS Resource Center is also available down here in the lower right-hand corner whenever you're in the system. All right. So now that we kind of have everything set up, let's take a look at the various things on our dashboard so that you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like to work in BHHS Connect. I want to go ahead and start at the very top up here first. You'll notice that we have BHHS Connect. If you click that little logo, it is going to take you back to that home page at any time, and that's your main dashboard right here. It's going to just take you back to that main area. We're going to just touch on some of these topics over here on the left-hand side. All of these are various tools. For some of you who don't like to just look at icons and you're not 100% sure what things are, if you click that little hamburger menu here, those little 3 lines, it's going to go ahead and expand out that menu for you so that you can get an idea of what that looks like. So notice that this is where you can take a look at your listings or your marketing, your lead engine, transactions, the marketplace, reporting, and also support and training and things like that. As you get used to the system, if you want to go ahead and close that out, you certainly can. Just go ahead and click those 3 little lines again, and it goes back to icons and gives you that bigger dashboard. It's available up here. You do have the ability to quick search contacts by name, email, and phone. So as you start to go through, you can certainly go ahead and just use this quick link box up here at the top. I'm actually registered as, if I can spell my name correctly, let's try that again. There we go. You can actually go ahead and quick search somebody up here in the upper search bar, so that if you are getting ready to work with a contact or something like that, you can just go ahead and give a little quick search. You don't have to go through all the different steps to click, 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 click. It's all available right up in there. You can also go ahead and just add an individual contact right from here. So if I wanted to add a contact to the system, it really is this easy. If I just click add contact up in the top, it does have an option here that says if you only have an address. So for those of you who might be working in a neighborhood where you don't have information on somebody yet, so maybe you're just starting to farm a neighborhood and you have a list of addresses and names and things like that, you can go ahead and just put an address in here. If you click that, it's just going to close out all the different fields that pertain to emails and things like that. Most people are not going to use that. Most people have some sort of information in here. You can go ahead and just fill out the contact information. So let me go ahead and pop myself back in here. Actually, let me go ahead and just change my name here. And let me give myself another version of this. By the way, that's a fun little tip, by the way. You can take your Gmail address and you can put a plus and then a number after it, a random number, and it creates it like it's a different email. So if you've ever seen me do that for testing, that's why. Go ahead and put phone number in here. And then it's going to start to get into things like, do you have permission to call this person? In this case, yes. Do I have permission to text this person? Yes. Do I have permission to email this person? Yes. So this is a person that I'm working with. And then it's going to go ahead and allow me to put in the street address, the city, state, zip, if I have it. And then it's also going to start to ask me to put in our lead source and information. So maybe this person is a buyer and a seller. Why is this going to come in handy in the future? Because we have action plans that can automatically start based on whether somebody is a buyer, a seller, renter, vendor, or an agent. You're going to go ahead and choose a lead status. So these lead statuses are set in the system. So in this particular case, this person maybe is a prospect. And again, that's just going to open up different windows for different action plans and smart campaigns that are available in here. Our lead source is manual add because obviously we're adding it. And the lead owner in this case is going to be you as an agent. It's going to start to get into things like, hey, do you want to go ahead and start this person on a smart campaign right now? I'm going to show you how to do this in the contact card, but just know that if you have smart campaigns turned on, in this case, this agent has two, core active buyer and core prospect buyer. These are different campaigns that can go out. So like drip campaigns or action plans. You could go ahead and start that person on one right away. You can go ahead and add that lender if you want to, if they're already working with somebody. You can also add any individual notes or hashtags. We're going to get into hashtags in just a second, but just know that hashtags are the same as groups if you're used to using those in RWT Connect. And just know that a really weird, quirky thing about a hashtag is that it has to be one word. So if you wanted to use something like open house, it has to be typed all together with no space in between. So maybe you did meet this person at an open house. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there as hashtag, oops, open house, and you'll see how that works later. So we've just filled in some basic information about our contact, and we're going to go ahead and add that contact into the system. And it's going to go ahead and bring up a main contact card. From here, we're going to be able to do a lot of different things with that person. And again, we're not going to go into everything that's on here today, just because each of these things is basically its own individual topic. But I wanted you to basically see how that you could maneuver around in the system a little bit here. So this is a brand new contact. Obviously, we filled out some basic information, and this is the general contact card. So it's going to let us know that this is our person. Now the system in the background is doing some stuff. It's going to try to resolve if this person is online. It's going to try to resolve if this person has any social profiles. I didn't put in an address, but if I had put in an address, it was going to try to go ahead and pull up some information about that property into the system as well. So notice that we have a couple of things in here. It's going to just give us our basic information. If we needed to edit any of this, we're going to take keep an eye out for all these little different pencils. That means edit. So if we needed to go ahead and edit, for example, this email address, we could certainly do that. We would just click on it. And let me just change that number there and hit save. And we'll go ahead and edit. That works the same way through any part of the system. And if you needed to add anything, anytime you see something that says add, and it might be a little bit more bold, it just means that there's no pencil there, but you can certainly go ahead and click it and it will give you that information to add on there as well. Remember I said that hashtags work the same as groups. So I went ahead and added that person that I maybe met them in an open house. I can also add additional hashtags in here. It does know any hashtags that you've already used in the system as well. So if you have something like buyer, or if you have something like maybe a 2026 prospect, maybe something like that, you can continue to add this. Why is this important? This will help you to be able to identify people that you've met in an open house, people who are in your sphere, people who are in your neighborhood, people who are prospects in a particular year. Whatever that group happens to be, is, how we want to go ahead and hashtag that out. It comes in handy later when we're doing smart campaigns where we may want to only send an email to a particular hashtag, or if somebody has a hashtag on their system that they can go ahead and automatically get a smart campaign started. Coming down to the middle here, it's just going to let us know some insights. So it's trying to kind of gauge our interests. It's trying to gauge what we're doing. It's also going to have a contact validation. So if somebody has given you an invalid email address, it's going to let you know. So if somebody has given you Daffy Duck at WaltDisneyWorld.com, it's probably going to come back as an invalid contact. And it's going to go ahead and let you know that that person doesn't have a correct email in here. And it's also going to have who it's owned by, who it was assigned to, and who it might be shared with in the future. And so if you did need to send this over to somebody else, you could certainly do that as well. It's going to let you know where you are in your client journey. You can certainly change people from whether they're a new lead, whether they're active, whether they're actually a client, whether they're under contract or closed. This does come in handy because as you start to move through the system, you can assign a new smart campaign based on where they are. So Joe, for example, may have already set up a smart campaign that says, when I move somebody from a prospect to a client, stop the prospecting campaign and start my new client campaign, which is maybe just like tips or tricks about moving, because we know that that person is getting ready to do that. So you can go ahead and move people along on their client journey. This is why that client journey and how the type was defined in the contact card is set in stone. It's so that you have this client journey opportunity up here. You can actually search in their timeline. So this is actually going to show us the things that have happened. So if you have a task that's due, or if they have opened an email, or if they have looked at something, or they've responded to something, it's going to be in this little timeline here, and it's going to show you all the various activity and things like that. If you've been used to using a web activity function on RWT Connect, it's that same kind of feel. It's just going to let you know if they've looked at anything, opened any of their emails, if they have responded to you in whatever way. It's also going to show you some future touch points. In this particular one, there doesn't happen to be any. But if we had changed somebody maybe to a 2026 prospect, and maybe that triggered a task in the system that says, hey, don't forget to invite them to our 2025 spring open house or something like that, that would be in that future touch points. This is going to be for things like future tasks and things that are coming up in the future. So this one has one that's automatically set in here in the system that just says, follow up with this prospect because they are a new lead and they need to be responded to. On this right-hand side, you're going to see all the different actions that you can do with somebody. So you could actually make a new call. And again, this will work if you have a dialer on your system, or if you're on your phone or tablet, and you can go ahead and communicate with people if you needed to. A lot of us have our smartphones set up so that if we do things like new call, it'll automatically push it to our phone as well. So do know that that's there. You can add a note if you needed to, or send a quick email, send a text. All that's available in the system. You can also add a task. Some of these other pieces here, things like voicemail drop, premium video, and core present, those are for tools that are available as an add-on. So not all of these are going to be available to you. However, if you wanted to go ahead and add on something like premium video, or if you wanted to add on a voicemail drop and things like that, all of those tools are available to purchase in the marketplace. And I'm going to show you the marketplace in just a second. In addition, you have some other actions that are available here. So this is where you might need to share this contact or transfer someone. Do you need to delete someone or archive something? This is where that would be under those add additional tools. In addition to this, remember I said that the system was going to try to find somebody. You can certainly do that on here. It's going to try to find them on Facebook. And this is, of course, going to be based on their email address and their name. Doesn't always get it right, but it does try. But you do have some options there as well. You also have some pieces that you can turn on based on the different tools that are available on here. So for example, does this person need an active campaign? Do we want to go ahead and assign them to a smart campaign? We can certainly do that. So this person is already assigned to the prospect buyer, because when I added them, I said that they were a prospect buyer. But I could certainly go ahead and add them to another campaign as well, depending on what we have turned on. I'm going to go ahead and show you where those smart campaigns are in just a second. But whatever campaigns you have turned on, and based on their hashtags, will be available in that drop down right here. There we go. You do have some things like a market report, which is going to try to come up if you put in an email address, sometimes that listing valuation and things like that. So some of this will turn on and off depending on what they are. Most of these things that are available on the main contact card and on the contact dashboard are also available under all of these little different pieces here. So that profile details is going to give you all of those additional fields that you might have and that you might need. So this is where we can go ahead and put in any home preferences or contact information. All of this wasn't available on the little quick contact card that we clicked. An area for spouses, additional addresses, different social media, things like that if we wanted to on here. Anytime you want to go ahead and edit that, if you just click edit details, it'll bring this up as basically like an expanded contact card and allow you to add those different information in here. If you've set up on any kind of alert or anything else, it's going to be under the alert section. If you've shared any files with somebody, it'll be available under here as well. If they have any transactions that are available in the system, it will be show in here. So these are any transactions that you may have closed with them in the past. And if you have any tasks that you need to assign to this particular person, you can go ahead and do that as well. So if we wanted to add a task to this person, maybe this will be called to follow up on home inspection. And we can set this maybe for, we know the home inspection is going to be tomorrow. Maybe we'll set this for the 13th. And we'll set this for 10 a.m. And then we can put any details in here that we want to. We can hit add task. And it'll go ahead and add that task for us. Now, if we've completed that task for this person, we can go ahead and click done, or we can actually snooze it if we realize that the home inspection got canceled. Maybe it was moved another day out and we need to change that. We can certainly go ahead and just snooze it for another day or something like that if we needed to. But we do have tasks that are available under here. And just remember, these are tasks that can be added manually, but you also may end up with tasks depending on what campaign you start with that particular person. So I've just gone ahead and closed out the contact card area just so that you can see that the contact card went away. And now that we're in our dashboard again, remember we're back on the main dashboard. We can see that in our activity section down here, it's been updated and we have one task. And our task right now just says that this person needs to be followed up with because they're a new lead. Remember, we saw that under that contact card. Maybe we've already followed up with Chris. She's done. We'll go ahead and just click done. And our task is done. So any task that you need to do for the day will be down here. It's also letting us know that we had some other tasks and we have one that's upcoming. And there it is with Chris again to call to follow up on the home inspection. We can either snooze that done or we can just go ahead and cancel that out. We'll go ahead and just say that that is done for right now. And we're done with our tasks. So any kind of activity that you might have, and you can see how this activity is starting now. Our activity says, do we have any new leads that we need to follow up on? They're going to be available in this section here on your dashboard. Do we have any calls that we need to make? Do we have any tasks that we need to do? Is there anything on our calendar for right now? And is there anything in the My Business section? So it's going to let us know, what do we have going on? What do we need to follow up on? What do we need to do? It's going to kind of give us some clues about that information on here. All right, let's take a look at a couple of other things that we can do. Remember, I said that some of the things that are available in the contact card are actually going to be available on the marketplace. Anytime you see a tool that says, hey, you need to purchase this in order to be able to use it, it's available in the marketplace. It's part of the business model of KB Core that basically says it really does give you that core service. Here's the CRM. If you want to do anything beyond that, it's available in the marketplace, and this allows you to basically customize that experience that you want for yourself. If you go into the marketplace, it's going to show you a lot of different tools that are available. So if you are interested in this, we're not going to go into all these different tools today, but if you see something and you click on it and it says, hey, go to the marketplace to find more information, that's where it is. So for example, if you wanted to add on send video messages to my people, it's available in here. So there's that voicemail drop or that premium video. You can certainly go ahead and click it to learn more. And it'll say that if you wanted to go ahead and send out personalized video from the system itself, that you can go ahead and purchase that. It's going to give you the pricing and how much it is and things like that up front on here. So just know that you might want to explore the marketplace just to see if there's anything that you were expecting to be in the system that might be an additional add-on. It'll show it to you here in that marketplace section. Most of you, however, either probably going to use the add contact or you're going to use this quick actions. The quick actions basically takes you right back to that contact card, but it's going to be for the whole system as a whole. So there's where you have that add contact again. You can add a call, you can add a task, you can send an email. We certainly have a link back to rwtconnect.com if you need it in here as well. A couple of other things that are available up here at the top. Part of this is for syncing email. The system does allow you to go ahead and sync to Gmail or Outlook as well. You do have a small button for tasks and calls again, that it's going to just bring up that little window that just separates everything out into tasks and calls. It's going to show any recent activity that's gone on. And again, up here, we're back to our main dashboard selections again, where we can go ahead and update our profile if need be. Let me go ahead and pause here one quick second. All right. Let's take a couple looks at some other sections here. I'm just going to go ahead and click on that BHHS Connect at the top and go back to that dashboard again. Remember, I'm back at that main dashboard. It's going to give me any of my to-dos. It's going to give me what's going on today. But for right now, I want to go ahead and take a look at some of the stuff that's over here on this left-hand side. So we're going to come back to playbooks here in just a minute, but I do want to take a look at that Smart CRM piece for you. So if I go into Smart CRM, that's basically the same version of where's all my contacts. It's going to be under that Smart CRM section, and this is going to bring up everybody that's in your system. So in your smart contacts, again, you have that search bar. You can either use the one at the very top or you can use the one right here in the contact section. And you can go ahead and take a look at people by what type of person that they are, what kind of hashtags that you've used, who they've been assigned to, any kind of contact details and things like that. These are all searchable filters and fields that you can use over here. So if you want to see all of your different buyers, for example, maybe you have a great listing coming up, you can certainly go ahead and just click the buyer type, and it's going to go ahead and bring in all of your buyers that are available in the system. Maybe you want to see your buyers and your sellers. So maybe these are people who are really active prospectors right now. Go ahead and take a look at those. You can also unselect. So if you don't want to see your buyers and sellers, you just want to see your sellers. If you just click that again, you can go ahead and see that there. You can use these filters for all sorts of things. So for example, if you wanted to take a look at anybody that you met at an open house, you can certainly go ahead and click that. In that hashtag section, remember I said hashtags work the same as groups. And you can take a look at anybody who's in the system. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at that contact card again. If we want to go ahead and click that, we just go ahead and click on their name. It's taking us right back to that, what I like to call that advanced contact card again, where we can go ahead and work with this person and make any changes that we need to make on that. So that's where all of your different contacts are going to be. Again, it's in that left-hand side under the all contacts. That's that Smart CRM section right here. The next button down are the listings. There we go. And you can see all of your different listings that are available in here. There's different tools that are available to be able to be used in the system. So let me go to my listings here. And again, remember I said that at any time that you had a marketplace feature that was maybe going to be an upgrade or something like that, it would let you know. So in this case, it says, do you want to get started with Leads 360 to be able to use it for your listings? And that information is going to be available in here, and it's going to let you know that you need to either go to the marketplace or talk to sales in order to be able to turn that feature on in here. So this is just part of those features that I said. This was kind of KB Core Lite. Some of this was going to have additional options. Some of this was also going to just be grayed out. It's going to really depend on how you want to work the system. So just so you know that those are where your listings will be. And if you wanted to go ahead and look at some of those products, you could go ahead and go to the marketplace or just click any of those buttons on there as well. The next button down is all the different marketing pieces that you have available in here. Let's talk about smart campaigns, because I've mentioned that before. Smart campaigns is basically the same as that action plan or that drip campaign. And you're going to have a couple of different options in here. So you're going to have campaigns that have been developed either by the company, or you're going to have campaigns that are available in the system itself. And if you want to go ahead and turn those on or off, you can certainly do that. By default, your campaigns are turned off. One of the things you're going to want to do when you come into the system, and part of your onboarding, remember I said that that was part of that little checklist over here on the left-hand side, was going to be to take a look at all the different smart campaigns and see which ones you would want to use and see which ones you might want to turn on. So in this particular case, for example, we've got a core active buyer turned on for this particular agent. Maybe we'll go ahead and turn on core active seller, for example. It can go ahead and turn that on. And it'll go ahead and run it for any future pieces that come into this campaign. So anybody that's assigned as a seller in the future would start this. You can see what's under any of the campaigns just by clicking on them. And so it's going to let you know that it has, in this particular case, this one's just a task that says, hey, don't forget to respond if you get a lead that's a seller. And it's going to ask you if you want to go ahead and clone this campaign. Maybe you want to go ahead and add some additional pieces to it, or you can just go ahead and use it as is. If you need to be able to view any of the campaign actions for whatever reason, you're going to notice there's a little view button over here on the right-hand side. And it'll just give you an idea of what this is. So this person is a new lead or a prospect, and they are a seller. And it's basically saying, hey, we've assigned a task to you as an agent that says, don't forget to respond to your brand new lead and don't forget to follow up with them. So remember, just like a lot of our other tools that we have available to us, campaigns can include emails, texts, and it can also include tasking. So just keep an eye out for that when you see it. It's going to show you the different things that are available under those different smart campaigns right here under the channels. So for example, this one is for close. So this is start for a new closing. This campaign is based on the close date. It is not for old close. So maybe somebody's closing this Friday and you move that person to closed. Remember, we saw those different bars in the different prospect cards. And this one says that it has a call, it has an email, and it has a task available in here. So it's going to let us know that it's sending a task to you that says, hey, call that person, thank them, whatever it happens to be. This is an email that it's going to get from the agent to the contact that just says, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it was a pleasure to work with you. As you already know, my business is based on word of mouth. This is the typical, thank you for working with me. Please give me a referral. What can I do for you? Kind of email. That's going to go out automatically on here. But it's also going to start to show you that you have some different things that are going to start to go out after they close. So maybe on day 14, it's just going to give you a quick follow-up. And so it says to you as a task, there's a call that says, just check in with your clients 2 weeks after closing, just to make sure that everything's going okay, everything's what they've expected. And it's just going to give you that daily reminder. And it's also going to start to show them that things like they can sign up to find out how much their home is worth in the future on a kind of a monthly cadence if they want to. There's other emails that go out in here as well. And again, if you want to adjust any of these tasks, if you want to take some of this out, this is a very long-term prospect, by the way, for closing. This one goes out to day 770. You can go ahead and clone that campaign if you want to. And it's going to ask you for some logic. So what do you want to do? Do you want to do this when the lead is new, when the hashtag is closed, maybe, when the contact is transferred, whatever it happens to be. So in this case, the trigger would be the status is closed. You can also add additional triggers in here as you want to. And then you can go ahead and click next, and then it'll be available in your campaigns to be able to change if you need to as well. So let me go back to the smart campaigns here. I want you to notice that we have a couple of categories here. We have my campaigns. We have things that are available in the system library. So if I go ahead and click on that, it will go ahead and bring up additional campaigns that are available. And again, this is all part of that onboarding process. Remember I said that this would be something you would have to go through an onboarding. Not everybody is going to want every single thing turned on. You're going to want to go ahead and personalize this for how you do business. You also have something called templates up here as well. So if you do need to add a template, or if you wanted to go ahead and just use an email over and over and over again, they are available in here as well. There is a way to share campaigns. For those of you who might be in the Forever Agent campaign, you do know that there is an ability for you to get a key code essentially from another agent of a campaign that they've created and to have that shared with you. If you are interested in that, that's going to actually be in the playbook, which I'm going to show you in just a few minutes on how you can do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and go down here to transactions. If you do need to go ahead and add any transaction information, it would be available in here as well. There's that icon again from Marketplace. This is the same as the Shop Marketplace up here at the top. But last but certainly not least, I wanted to show you this business analytics section here at the bottom. This business analytics section is going to give you all the different reporting for the system. So it's going to show you the different pipelines that you have available, any source performances. So based on how are your hashtags doing? Are things from Sage doing better than something else? Are things from open houses doing better than something else? Whatever that happens to be, it's going to actually show you your source performance and how things are working in the system. If you find that obviously certain sources are working better than others, we would want you to continue to do that. And sometimes sources don't work out as well as we'd hoped, and either we have to change our tactics or maybe it's something that we can cut from our budget. It's going to show you the different system activity. It's going to show you anything that's been going on in the last 90 days or so. Any consumer interest that's been there, your agent performance, and your agent success, of course. So all of these available analytics are in the system, and they should help you be able to gauge what's working for you and what's not. I really like to take a look at a lot of these different things as things go along, just to see if you're getting better communication from one source or another, or if Maybe a particular email campaign worked out really, really well for you. Maybe you want to assign other people to it, or you'll want to do something that's really similar in the future. This is just a kind of a great way to keep an eye on what's working and what's not in the system. All right. I said that all of this kind of introduction would get you ready for being able to take the onboarding and quick start. As you've noticed in the system, it is absolutely impossible to do this class and cover every single topic. But what we did want to do for you today was just get you into the system, kind of show you what the dashboard looked like, make sure that you got your profile set up and understood how the relationship works between all of our different systems, and make sure that you understood that a lot of the information is going to come from your user profile in BHHS to get it started. So there's two things that you can really do. So this class has really kind of prepared you to both go through your little onboarding checklist, and it's also going to prepare you to take the agent quick start. And I want to show you those two resources and the playbooks before we end today. So I'm just going to reiterate this. This is your onboarding checklist. The very first time you click into BHHS Connect, it is going to show you a little video, and it's going to start to say, you need to complete your onboarding checklist. And it's going to kind of take you step by step. This is going to allow you to complete your profile. And you saw how that worked in the system when we went through that profile, that it's going to give you little buttons that say, click here, click here, click here, just to make sure you get everything covered. And it also let you know that if it's grayed out, it's coming from BHHS resource itself. So you'll need to change it there. It's going to ask you to add your contacts and learn automations, connect your lead sources. Don't forget, we have already connected your lead sources for you. So everything is already talking to each other. So RWT Connect is already talking to BHHS Connect. Sage CRM is already talking to this. Marketing Resource is already talking to this. And it's a two-way street. So we made sure that all of those things are connected for you. You may want to go ahead and go through this lead sources anyway, just in case you have some external lead sources you might want to use. There are some other connections that are available in here, depending on if you use a different vendor that we might not use as a company. So it's still worth going through just to see what your options are. It's going to show you how you can get new leads. And again, importing your contacts. You probably don't need this because we've already done it for you if you had your contacts in RWT Connect or if you had them in Sage or Marketing Resource. If you did not, however, and you wanted to go ahead and import your contacts, do know that if you import them here, they do make their way down to our other systems so you can use them elsewhere. Again, everything's connected, everything's a two-way street. It's also going to show you how you can sync your email, set up those automated communications. Those are those smart campaigns. And then, of course, if you wanted to use the mobile app for this, it's going to go ahead and show you how you can do that. And again, you'll need to set up a password if you wanted to do that. I showed you how you could do that in the profile section. In addition to your onboarding checklist, I would love it if, for those of you who are really thinking about using this system, to go through the agent quick start. If you click that, it's going to go ahead and take you over to the Inside Real Estate courses and library. And it's going to allow you to take a course. So in this case, I already clicked on this button this morning, so it's asking me to resume the course, but if you weren't, you could actually start the course instead. This Agent Quick Start course is really similar to onboarding, but it's going to give you all the different resources that you need. Yeah, there we go. What you need to do is take a look at these different videos. It's going to let you know how you can complete the course and what's expected in the course. And then it's also going to let you know all the different things that are available in here. So why is completing your profile? Why should you use the main dashboard? What do you need to do with the app? Testing your knowledge. So it actually is going to have some quizzes on here. But I love this because it's also going to have action items. These are going to be the checklist of things that you need to complete in order for you to work the system. And it basically gives you that piece of paper, that PDF that says, did you do your profile? Did you do this? Did you do that? Did you set up your smart campaigns? Have you looked at this? Have you looked at that? There's that action item in that checklist to make sure you're doing okay. It's going to give you some tips. And then if you want to take this again, it's going to allow you to have a webinar link. The nice thing about BHHS Connect is that they do have webinars every day. So if you get stuck on a particular topic, you can certainly just jump into one of their daily webinars and you can go over that topic with an actual trainer. That quick start, again, is going to show you managing and adding your contacts. This is really going to go in depth. This is beyond the onboarding. This is how do you actually work with this? How do you do the behavioral automation? How do you do the different types and statuses? All the different smart campaigns that you can add. And then, of course, you're going to have those action items. Fueling your pipeline. So how to integrate your existing lead generation, how you can track your success in business analytics. And of course, your course conclusion is just going to be, hey, did you learn everything you needed to know? If not, here's some additional resources. So again, there's that onboarding bubble on that left-hand side. You're going to come across it the first time you logged in, and then also the agent quick start. But I said I wanted to come back to the playbooks really quickly. And if I click on playbooks up here on the left-hand side, you're going to have two playbooks in your system. One is setting up your sphere, and the other one is working your sphere. If you do nothing else, I would love for you to gather your sphere and work your sphere. If you don't want to go through the whole kind of quick start after your onboarding, the nice thing about these little playbooks is they basically just kind of go through each little step by step in the system. It's really similar to the onboarding. It's probably in between onboarding and the quick start. So it's going to let you know about getting your system, or getting your contacts in the system, how to categorize those people, and how to set up alerts and automations for those people. And it's going to just kind of take you through step by step in various pieces here. So, for capturing and categorizing into groups and things like that, it's a great way to just kind of make sure that you have everything set up. And again, same thing for working your sphere, basically how to use the system to make sure that you're staying top of mind with your people. So if I go ahead and go to the playbook, for example, for gathering your sphere and working your sphere, it's going to make me go through gather my sphere first. And it's going to make me go through this whole piece here to organize my setup. There we go. So organize my sphere and contacts, creating my sphere groups and alerts and automation. And it's going to go ahead and let you know that you have all of these different options that are available in the system. All right. Hopefully that has given you a kind of an overview and insight into the system. Again, it's an option for you to use. We are here to support it in a kind of a limited capacity, just because it is more difficult for us to log into this as web support than it is for some of our other tools. But I do want you to know that we've all been educated on it. And if you need true expert help in it, do not hesitate to click that right hand button with that little bubble and contact the actual team at BHHS. They can also help you through this. They're a wealth of knowledge. They've been working in the system for about 3 years now, and they are really good at just kind of getting everybody up and running, getting people guided into the system, and answering any kind of really kind of quick questions that you might have. So just don't forget that they're there in that lower right hand corner anytime. Did anybody have any questions? I know we've gone a little over time here, but there was a lot to cover. No hands, no nothing. Oh my gosh. All right, well, go forth and explore today. And thank you for coming to the overview essentials for BHHS Connect or KB Core. I am going to be going ahead and giving this class again on the 18th. So we may integrate some questions that come up between now and then. So if you'd like to go through this one more time to make sure that you have everything that you need, or if any information's been updated, do go ahead and join us on the 18th, and we will give this class again.